I would like to start this video by thanking every single one of you who placed orders on lmbgear.com to enter to win this beautiful 2003 5.9 Cummins plus the $5,000 cash. Couldn't do what we do without you guys, and I seriously mean that. If we did not have you guys placing orders on the store to be able to win these trucks, we would not be able to do it. So thank you guys so much for all the love and support. Couldn't do it without you guys. And on that topic, this giveaway for the 2003 5.9 is over, and a new 5.9 is up for grabs. Say hello to our new giveaway. Totally joking. It's not Nasty Red. You thought it was going to be the Nasty. Trust me, not this Nasty. That one I'm still going to keep. Now this Nasty is up for grabs, and we're going to build this thing to be the ultimate towing truck, and it's already got so many things done that make it perfect as a work truck, but we're going to make it just that much cooler, and I'll show you how in a minute. First off, the underside of this thing is super clean because it was all redone, and I mean super clean. It was sandblasted down and redone, refinished. Looks beautiful. First off, it's getting new wheels, full one-off custom leather interior that's being handmade right now, literally being hand cut and sewn, the whole thing, with some extras in there for the interior. It's going to be really cool. And then we're also going to be putting some towing airbags on this thing. Cannot have an ultimate towing setup without helper airbags in the back, and that's what this thing's going to have, and it's going to be so sick. So for those of you wanting to enter to win that truck plus the $5 grand, that giveaway does end in November, so don't waste much time because that giveaway does end in November. And for the first week only, every $1 is going to get you 20 entries towards winning that truck plus $5 grand. Then it's going down to 1x. So if you want to get in on that, 20x is live right now, but that does end on October 20th, and then 20x is gone. But we are going to be working on Nasty Red today because we've got something to do on this truck that we have not done yet, and it has needed it literally since we bought the truck. This has been on the list and it's never gotten done, and we're gonna finally do it today, and that is upgrade the Santa Claus charger. Now, totally messing with you, but we are putting a brand new head unit in this thing, and it's gonna be so sick if it works out. It should. It's a Pioneer. I already put new Pioneer speakers in the doors, and I thought, well, maybe it's just a bad speakers. Well, the head unit's actually just shot. So the head unit doesn't turn on at all. It kind of flickers, it comes and goes, but no sound comes out. You can't turn up the volume. I mean, it really just, it doesn't work. So we're going to be popping off the dash bezel, the cup holder, cigarette tray, and getting that all taken off to replace that head unit with something that should work exceptionally well compared to what it's got now. And I didn't want anything crazy fancy in this thing. I didn't want to buy a $600 flip up Apple CarPlay. It just wasn't worth it that much to me. I'm already cool with driving this thing with no radio just because I like listening to the turbo spool. But I thought it would be kind of nice to be able to have a USB charging thing so you don't have to have like stuff plugged into the cigarette outlet for charging. It's got an aux, so I just thought, you know what, this would be great. Let's get this thing installed and see how it sounds. And then with this thing, I actually got a full install kit. It is the single DIN bezel, butt connectors, zip ties, all kinds of stuff. So we're gonna get to pulling this all apart and hopefully getting this thing installed, and it should be a lot easier now that I've done the last one, and that was easy. Hopefully this goes easy as well. So we're in the interior of Nasty Red, key on. That's about how much radio we get. It's a beaut. Let's get to tearing this apart and swapping it out. Well, it's not working, and I've wired a different truck radio in the meantime to see if maybe I was just doing something wrong. And so I put the same head unit in my grandfather's truck, and everything works. Wired it the exact same way that I've wired this one and the flatbed trucks, and everything turns on, radio works, volume, everything. I mean, every setting works on that radio just fine. In Nasty Red, I cannot get anything to work. I mean, I cannot get a darn light to turn on this thing. Keys on, nothing. The gauges are hooked up to the exact same radio fuse, So for anybody asking, well, maybe it's a blown fuse, the illumination for this is hooked up to the exact same radio fuse. Nothing. I already checked the fuse and it's totally fine. I even replaced it just in case. It's totally fine, not an issue. I tested the wires, the yellow and the red, which is a constant power and the switched power, and I tested them and they're totally fine. They've got power. So I'm not sure what's going on. I can't wrap my mind around it. I have no freaking clue at all. I mean, my thoughts are, you know, instantly like, oh, it's got to be a grounding issue. So, you know, I was trying to ground the wires to the radio unit itself, because that's how the original one was grounded to the radio. And I thought, well, maybe it just needs to be grounded to something more solid. So I ran a wire from the ground wire that's ran up behind the radio and the one coming out the new harness, and I ran it down up under here, and it's grounded right up here to a more solid piece of steel there running along, you know, as part of the dash supports down there, the framing for the dash. Still nothing at all. And so I don't know if a wire came loose somewhere in the harness, only who knows where. I mean, I don't know where it would be. Cannot wrap my mind around where the disconnect is, but there's clearly a wiring issue in terms of somewhere else in the truck, which probably explains why the factory radio here would just randomly come and go and cut in and out, and sometimes work, sometimes not work. It was probably a loose connection that finally just went completely loose and either burnt a wire up somewhere in the wiring somewhere, or a wire got cut on something. I mean, I really have no clue. I can't figure out where the problem would be. I've even tried looking under the hood to see if I can find anything in that fuse panel. Not finding anything. I even checked this ground here because it was actually super loose, and that's a black and green wire, which a black and green wire is what runs to that radio in there, and this might just be for the headlights or something totally different, but it was totally loose. I'm like, oh wow, that's not good. So I re-grounded that with a little bit bigger screw that pulled it in really tight. That's not it. I mean, I have been just looking for anything that could lead to something, and I'm not getting anywhere. So for now, guys, I got the interior all put back together. At least we've got a good looking head unit that does not work. That's nice. So I guess I'm just gonna have to take this to some shop to have them look into it and see if they can fix the problem. I really don't understand it though, because like I've wired the same head unit in basically the exact same truck several times. I've never had an issue with it. It's been super easy. And so there must be something in the harness that's just severed, shorted, I don't know. So let me show you this truck. So I just installed the radio, like the head unit in this one. And this one, everything works just fine. But just a short sample. Okay, so you get the point. I put it over to aux so that it's no longer playing copyrighted music, even though that little segment could have claimed the entire video, but I'm trying to show you guys something, so that's more important to me. I wired this one the exact same way, not an issue. Everything works, no problems at all. And so I'm really stumped on why it's not working, because I know how to wire these. I've done it so many times, and it's super simple, especially with those quick connect harnesses to make it easy. I mean, it's almost like foolproof. So clearly there is something wrong with Nasty Red in terms of maybe the ground in that harness is severed in half somewhere in that harness, going from behind the dash all the way. It could be in the engine bay or who knows where under the dash panel. I even pulled the dash panel down by your knees. I couldn't find any wires that were like severed in half, you know, that looked like they were burnt up or anything like that. But then again, like the one that I'm looking for is probably in like the factory shrink wrapped, you know, big harnesses that have like freaking dozens of wires in them under the dash. So who knows, it could be in there somewhere, but I don't want to mess with that. I hate chasing wires. Like, I absolutely hate it. The only reason I would even install a radio is because they make color coordinated harnesses now that are super simple to just color coordinate and just hook them up and you're good. But in terms of like chasing wires and undoing harnesses and trying to find like I don't want to do that. I don't want to spend a couple days diagnosing it over a radio. I really could care less if it worked or not. Like, I like just listening to the truck run when I drive it. I'm glad this worked though, because I've been driving this truck a ton though, and it's nice that this one at least works the way it should, and the flatbed does. So yeah, I'm not really sure on that, but it's a bummer. If anybody has any helpful tips, let me know, because I'm at a loss. But I did think about trying to start this thing up again and seeing if it just fires up nice and easy. So I'm going to turn the fuel on. I always turn that off when I'm done using it. And then key on. Then I'm going to get up here and pop this clutch in, put it into neutral, and let's see if she starts. Look at that. That's awesome. I have not started this thing up literally since I parked it. You may be able to tell there's a nasty storm brewing, but I did get the Alice Chalmers pressure wash down as much as I could. I haven't had a chance to wipe it down. This is about to ruin the parade here, but man, I just pressure wash and pressure wash and pressure, just try to get as much as I could. There's still so much to do to get every crack and crevice, but we got some progress. I turned the fuel back off here because I'm about to take off inside before I get absolutely pummeled with rain, but it's looking a little better. Just can't wait to get into the mechanics of this thing and the fluids and everything else, and really get to getting this thing going here. But I'm about to get inside before I get hit with hail, possible tornado, you know, stuff like that. But before I jet to run away from this horrible storm that I'm about to get hit with, do not forget that if you want to get entered to win this beautiful 97 12-valve Cummins that we're going to fully customize, plus $5,000 cash, 20X entries are live until October 20th, so only the first week, and the 20X entries are gone. Unless you sign up for a monthly subscription box, then you'll get 20X entries for every single giveaway forever, as long as you stay signed up to those. You don't have to worry about getting in on the 20X deal. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for all the love. Thank you so much for all the support. I'll catch you guys in the next video. If you guys have any helpful tips with that radio situation that I had to deal with, unfortunately, please leave them down in the description below. Can't wait to hear from you guys. Peace.